Hey guys, it's Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the DeathWatch list that I'm bringing in to DJ's Necrons. I know, if you're a DeathWatch fan, good for you. It's like Christmas because every week is DeathWatch. If not, don't worry. I've got a GT this weekend that I've been practicing for, and next week we'll switch off the DeathWatch and try something else. Get something out, some other armies into the rotation here. But yeah, so DeathWatch, once again, the list hasn't changed a whole lot from last time, even though I took a beating from the Grey Knights. I did put some infiltrators in, which should affect games that are into Grey Knights and Necrons and Space Marines with their Inceptors, that sort of thing. Anybody with a good, strong, deep strike redeploy threat. So I do have infiltrators in the list, although in today's game it's not going to matter because DJ is not going to have any deep striking at all. So we'll see. But anyways, the list is locked in for the GT that I'm going to in Cincinnati this weekend, the CAG Bash GT. So far, there's like 50-some people signed up, so it should be a good-sized event. I'm very excited to go. I feel real good about the DeathWatch. Should do reasonably well, hoping for a winning record. So anyways, this is the DeathWatch list. If you are new to this channel, have not seen me go over the DeathWatch/DevWatch list, the point of this list is that it does a whole lot of devastating wounds because once per game, DeathWatch can pick 2 targets and reroll all wounds or all hits and all wounds into both those targets. And as an added little bonus, I can also pop off sustained hits for my entire army for that turn, just increasing the amount of devastating wounds I do. It's really strong into really durable units. This past weekend, I played a couple practice games in the Necrons that were running Satans and the Monolith, and just was able to chew right through those regular, normally very durable units. So let's go through the list, and then we'll talk a little bit about how it works afterwards, or what I'm hoping it'll do today, and then we'll go over to the battle report. All right, guys, this is my DeathWatch army for today. This is a DeathWatch army with a Black Spear Task Force detachment, so they are DeathWatch. So DeathWatch are Marines, so they get Oath of Moment, and then the DeathWatch Black Spear Task Force detachment rule is mission tactics, kind of similar to regular Space Marine doctrines. But basically, I have 3 different mission tactics, and in my command phase, I can choose one of these. I can choose each one of these once per game for the whole army, but it goes from my command phase until the next command phase. Now, the first one is Führer tactics. Basically, when I choose this mission tactic, my entire army, all shooting and combat weapons, have sustained hits 1. The next one is Malleus tactics. When I choose this one for the entire turn from my command phase to the next one, the entire army has lethal hits. And the third one is Pregatus tactics. When I choose this one, all 6s to hit become precision, so I do have the opportunity to precision out some characters when I need to. But yeah, those are a key part of how my list works, especially when we pop off our big devastating wound turn. So anyways, on to DeathWatch. We don't have any kill teams because I have not been really happy how they performed in a competitive situations. Sometimes they're really good, but sometimes the kill teams just bounce off their intended targets. So today, we've been running a whole lot of Terminators with the assault cannons, and that's what really makes this list cook. So to start with, we have 3 characters. We have the captain. This is a Phobos captain today because he may or may not join a list of squad of infiltrators. So we're using the Phobos captain. His Phobos captain special ability is that you can pick up and redeploy up to 3 Phobos or scout units at the start of the game. So it allows me to do some shenanigans with blocking out infiltrators and blocking out scouts, that sort of thing. So his enhancement is the Tome of Ectoclades. This is the big one. The Tome of Ectoclades allows me once per game in my command phase to pick 2 targets. I pick an Oath target, and then I pick a second one. And per the wording of the Tome of Ectoclades, I will reroll all hits and all wounds into both of those targets until the beginning of my next command phase. So what will happen is, because I have a whole bunch of devastating wound shots in this list, I will get to reroll a whole bunch of hits for those shots, and also the wounds, and I usually pop off sustained in the same turn, so I just get a lot of devastating wounds. We can get somewhere between 30 and 35 devastating wounds in one big turn, providing all my units are still alive and on target. Then we also have the Apothecary Biologus. He is carrying the enhancement, he has his unit lethal hits, but his enhancement is the Beacon Angelus. He will be joining a 6-man brick of Eradicators, and the Beacon Angelus allows that unit to deep strike and also lets them rapid ingress for free. And then, of course, we've got the Calidus Assassin. She can up you down every turn, and she allows me to increase the cost of a battle tactic strat by 1. And she has lone operative, so she can kind of hang out sometimes and be safe and do some hold objectives, score some points, and be kind of safe because she's got the lone op. Moving on, we have a 5-man squad of infiltrators. These guys are here due to popular demand. You guys have left a whole lot of comments saying infiltrators, infiltrators, infiltrators. I heard you, and I brought them on the day when DJ is not doing any deep striking. They're here because they're part of my list for the tournament for the GT coming up. So I need to practice with them. And the fact that they can infiltrate and be redeployed with a Phobos captain actually gives them some additional utility beyond just blocking out deep strikers. So we'll see how they get deployed today on the table. Now, next we've got the big old 3 5-mans of DeathWatch Terminators. DeathWatch Terminators are different from regular Space Marine Terminators because they can take 3 heavy weapons in a 5-man squad. And then for the purposes of the DevWatch list, the 3 heavy weapons are assault cannons. So each of these things is 6 shots, strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage, but they do have dev wounds. Then, of course, they can deep strike. And there's special rules when they complete a charge. Everything within engagement range has to take a battle shock test. As I mentioned before, we have Eradicators. We have a 6-man brick, of course, 2 multi-meltas in there, and then 2 3-mans. Each of those has a multi-melta as well. The 3-man multi-meltas, or 3-man Eradicator squads, will be riding around in the Repulsor Executioners. I got a good deal on these tanks, and then I've been using them a whole bunch ever since. They're really strong. They're surprisingly durable, although they don't have the 2-up armor that a Land Raider has. They are 3-up armor, but they are still strength 12 with 16 wounds, and they can just stick around for a while. They can be tough to kill. And then to finish the list off, we have 2 of the ATVs, the Onslaught Gatling Cannons. All in all, the list has 96 dev wounds, just shy of the 100 I wanted, but I needed to sacrifice a couple things to make sure I had the Calidus, the Infiltrators, and I did want to have the 3 squads of Eradicators because I like what they do. All right, so today I'm hoping to chew through a whole lot of Immortals really fast. DJ's list has, it's a unique list. I keep looking at it and scratching my head like, how's this thing work? But I guess with the detachment, the shooting from the Immortals can be pretty significant. So we'll see how well I tolerate that before I return the favor and shoot him back. So the big turn for DeathWatch, for my DevWatch list, is once per game I can choose 2 targets with Tome of Ectoclades, and I reroll all hits and wounds into those 2 targets. And with the devastating wound shots, I've got 96 of them in this list. With the number of devastating wound shots I have, that means it turns into basically a turn where I pop off the sustained, I pop off the tome, and with all those shots hitting, re-rolling the hits, getting sustained on all those shots, and then re-rolling all the wounds. By the math, I should get somewhere between 30 and 35 dev wounds spread between the 2 targets. Again, that's assuming all my units are alive. But that means I get to go past armor saves, invuln saves, damage reduction, cutting damage in half. None of it matters. Feel no pains matter, but none of the rest of it matters. And I was just so tired of my opponents making saves. I was tired of it. I was done with it. I was tired of shooting Catans and they're cutting my damage for my high damage weapons in half. Tired of it. So I decided to just skip all that and go right to, if you got to feel no pain, you can make that save. Otherwise, the dev wounds go through. Now, of course, that means the army does kind of just have one really strong turn, and the rest of the time, those assault cannons are just hoping for 6s on dev wounds. Otherwise, they're AP 0. So it depends a lot on the saves that my opponent has. But with the repulsors and with the eradicators in there, I still have a lot of punch with high AP, high damage weapons. So we can stick through the rest of the game. And of course, Terminators are strong when they shoot, and then when they get in combat, they're not too bad either because they do have all those Power Fists and Thunder Hammers in there. All right, that is the list, guys. Follow me over to the battle report. We'll see how it does today into the Necrons, and then I'll come back next week and tell you how we did at the GT. All right, have a good one.